Tonight, deep divisions at the negotiating table on the first day of direct talks between the U.S. and Iran.
If this deal fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz over by force.
Even as his vice president hails progress, new threats against Iran by Donald Trump reveal just how far apart the two sides remain. Plus, dread and a feeling of deja vu as a wildfire burns near Lytton, BC.
It's like we're starting all over again, like to go through it again.
What we're learning about the cause of the fire. And on the field, he's the CFL's biggest star, but off, he's working to combat toxic masculinity.
Statistically, men are the ones who are doing the victimizing.
Nathan Rourke reflects on the game he loves and why he says men need to do better.
From CBC News, this is The National with Ian Henemansing.
Iran and the U.S. concluded their first day of talks, the goal of permanent peace, but there were still signs of strife amid more fighting in the Middle East and more threats from the White House. Donald Trump said the U.S. would hit Iran very hard unless it restrained its proxy Hezbollah, as Israel continued to bomb southern Lebanon. In Switzerland, the U.S. says the two sides are still negotiating. Iran's negotiators spoke late tonight, saying they have achieved major progress. But Katie Nicholson shows us beyond the public statements, it's not clear how the talks will bridge the deep divisions on key issues.
Anguish in Lebanon. A funeral for 4 women killed during Israeli airstrikes on Saturday. The ongoing hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah continuing to threaten not just lives, but peace talks between the U.S. and Iran underway in Switzerland. Iran wants Israel out of Lebanon. Israel's prime minister insists they will stay as long as necessary to protect his people. As Hezbollah's chief vowed to respond to any ceasefire violation. Frustrated, the U.S. president ordered Iran to stop their highly paid proxies from causing trouble. If they don't, we'll hit Iran very hard again, just like we did last week, only harder. That post landed with a thud, the Iranians opting to pause talks and warning the U.S. to be careful about their statements. It's been a rocky start.
We've already made great progress over just the last few hours.
The Iranian delegation noticeably absent as the U.S. vice president spoke to reporters about new beginnings.
If they are willing to give up nuclear weapons ambitions for the long term, then the United States is willing to fundamentally transform our relationship with that country.
Iran pushing back on restrictions to what it insists is a peaceful nuclear program. Iran's president saying, "We will not give up our right to enrichment." Dealing with Iran's highly enriched uranium is one of the things the U.S. has insisted is in the deal that got both sides to the table.
I think it's going to fail.
As the U.S.'s biggest Iran hawks watch warily from the sidelines.
If this deal fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz over by force.
Tehran claimed Saturday it had once again closed that crucial waterway, while the U.S. military says traffic continues to flow. Still, confusion lingers over whether it's truly safe for ships to pass.
And a similar lack of clarity hangs over the peace talks hundreds of kilometers away and what progress is actually being made.
And Katie, what's the latest from Switzerland?
Well, despite talk of a pause in negotiations earlier in the day, a senior U.S. diplomat says that the Iranian delegation is still at the venue and they do expect to continue working through the night to tackle confusing messaging around the Strait of Hormuz. And teams are working to address enforcing the ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. The nuclear issue, well, there's a lot of technical talks yet to come.
Katie Nicholson in Washington. Thanks.
You're welcome.
The fight is on tonight to contain a wildfire near Lytton, BC, just 5 years after fire tore through the community and burned much of it to the ground. The Saw Creek wildfire was spotted 2 days ago. Crews are tackling it from the ground and the air, but there are reports of some structures already lost to the flames. Right now, the fire perimeter sits just south of the village of Lytton in the BC interior. Evacuation orders and alerts are out for several nearby communities. and the Trans-Canada Highway, which runs through the area, is closed. It's all bringing back memories of the devastation of 2021. Alana Kelly speaks to people living through the anxiety again.
It's day 3 of the firefight in Lytton, BC. The winds are calmer, but the wildfire remains a threat.
When I heard about this fire starting, I just thought, oh, is this a bad joke? Like what's going on here? But it just goes to show anything can happen at any time.
The Saw Creek wildfire sparked on Friday evening. Pockets of flames spanned along a section of Highway 1, causing a main highway route in the province to be shut down. The fast-moving fire has already left devastation in its path.
I'm not quite sure of the other properties, like who may have lost their home, but my uncle lost his home.
The fire grew to an estimated 700 hectares by Sunday afternoon.
So fire itself isn't unusual for us here.
There's a sense of dread and anxiety for people who live here.
Grabbed what I had to grab. Was just
Dean Adams' home was destroyed by the wildfire that tore through this area nearly 5 years ago. He describes the feeling as déjà vu.
It's like we're starting all over again, like to go through it again.
The 2021 wildfire killed 2 people and decimated many of the properties in the village.
Hard to believe, but my neighbor over here, they're the ones that passed away. The house that burnt down on that road. So that was a hard part.
This time feels different for some.
This time we had warning, or a little bit more warning, so it's not a run for your life situation.
Lessons were learned from that devastating fire.
And we're all working together to try and coordinate things, and I think that speaks very highly of the community and how we've come together to try and keep our community safe.
But for people like Adams, it's a constant reminder he's living with.
It was almost like the fire wasn't finished with Lytton, and it was still back, something that was calling it back.
The wildfire is under investigation and believed to be human-caused.
Alana, tell our audience why this region is so susceptible to fires.
Yeah, this region can be tinder dry in the summer. It can be hot and windy, all a recipe for fueling fires fast over a large area. Hot and dry conditions are expected to continue this week, and wind could change that at a moment's notice. Crews today are focusing on a specific area that has important infrastructure to this community. The mayor tells me that is the water treatment plant.
Alana Kelly in Lytton, British Columbia this evening. Torrential rain has left parts of Montreal soaked in fatigue and frustration. Some places were hit with a staggering volume in just hours. Alexander Silberman shows us the chaos caused by the downpour.
In Montreal's West Island, a relentless downpour quickly turned roads into flowing rivers. Some areas hit with as much as 170 millimeters of rain in just a few hours. Flash flooding filled streets, gushed into homes and businesses, and left cars underwater. My car just stopped working, this woman says. I had to drive through water.
See? So it's like almost my half my chest.
Firefighters say they received 800 911 calls from the west part of the city. No injuries were reported.
We had about 15 people in cars that needed escape or rescued.
The storm also caused widespread power outages and chaos at Montreal's main airport. 25 flights were diverted.
We have many folks that are in distress.
City officials say several hundred homes were flooded. Parts of Montreal's South Shore were also hit, with one community briefly declaring a state of emergency and opening a shelter overnight.
There's no city in the world that has the infrastructure to accommodate that amount of water.
With waters receding, people are dealing with the damage. This car, which was completely submerged, is one of many that won't start. And ruined belongings from flooded basements are piling up.
I'm losing everything.
Joe Carino is ripping out soaked flooring and drywall. It's the 4th time his home is flooded in 9 years.
Everyone's hurting like me.
His neighbor is considering leaving the area for good.
There's nothing you can do. There's no pump. When the water comes in, that's it.
As the cleanup continues, city officials say they plan to build more rainfall catch basins, preparing for a new reality and more frequent and intense storms fueled by climate change. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Montreal.
Local officials say 4 people were killed and dozens wounded by Ukrainian attacks in the Russian-occupied peninsula of Crimea. Officials also announced an end to all fuel sales due to a widespread gas shortage. Recent Ukrainian attacks have hit oil storage facilities while gradually cutting off Crimea from the rest of occupied Ukraine. Trade officials from Canada, the U.S., and Mexico are set to meet July 1st, the deadline for a formal review of CUSMA. And despite an unpredictable American partner, there's still some optimism in Ottawa. JP Tasker explains why.
Parliament has adjourned for its summer break, but across the street at the Prime Minister's office, it won't be a restful few months. The CUSMA review is looming, the deadline just days away.
It's no secret the President in recent years has not been the biggest fan of CUSMA or other trade deals.
Despite U.S. President Donald Trump's hostility, Canada, the U.S., and Mexico have all agreed to meet on July 1st. The day set out in CUSMA for renewing the deal another 16 years. But signing an extension then is increasingly unlikely, negotiators say.
It is an encouraging sign that the 3 countries will be sitting at the same table.
Still, one of the Prime Minister's top trade advisors says things are going better than they seem. Trump's threats to do away with the deal entirely are all bluster, he says.
It's a run-of-the-mill Donald Trump.
Another goal for Canada, securing tariff relief for hard-hit sectors. The lumber industry says there are encouraging signs.
From what I'm hearing in Washington, that the Americans are getting a little bit more eager to talk.
The Liberal government has moved to satisfy some U.S. trade concerns, forcing the CRTC to review a levy on American tech giants. Last week, introducing legislation to curb imports made abroad by forced labor. And as seen in that hot mic moment at the G7, reassuring President Trump there won't be a flood of Chinese EVs. But the Conservatives are growing impatient with Carney.
He says things like, who cares, when he's asked about the progress. I care on behalf of a lot of people I represent in the steel industry and manufacturing.
If the July 1st deadline passes without an agreement, the deal remains in place, and with it the status quo. 85% of Canadian goods will still trade into the U.S., tariff-free. JP Tasker, CBC News, Ottawa.
At least one person has been arrested for allegedly vandalizing the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool in Washington, D.C. 67-year-old former U.S. Olympic canoeist Davey Hearn, seen here in the 2000 Olympics, denies he did anything wrong, but he faces a charge of destroying government property. Trump touted the $14 million restoration of the reflecting pool in multiple news conferences. It's since been marred by a bloom of algae and peeling paint, which Trump claims is the result of vandalism by, quote, sick, deranged people. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is said to be considering his future tonight as pressure mounts from inside his own party for him to resign. His business secretary said Starmer was reflecting on the, quote, political realities, challenges, and opportunities of the moment. He has become increasingly unpopular and is facing a potential leadership challenge from a newly elected rival. If he quits, he'll be the 6th prime minister to leave in 10 years. Mosquitoes kill more people than any other animal on Earth, and now scientists are trying to stop some species from reproducing or eliminate them altogether. Cameron McIntosh looks at the science and the ethical questions it raises.
So this is a little mosquito cage.
Steve Wired is taking on the deadliest animal on the planet.
So there are a few hungry females in there.
Using genetics.
Here what we're trying to do is genetically sterilize them in a way by knocking out genes that are essential for their reproduction.
Here in his University of Manitoba lab, he's targeting Aedes aegypti, which carries yellow fever and dengue. It, combined with the malaria-spreading Euophiles gambii and the Asian tiger mosquito, are responsible for killing up to 1 million people each year, while growing increasingly resistant to insecticides, as global climate change broadens their ranges into parts of Europe and North America.
I wouldn't normally be an advocate for elimination of any species. I think there perhaps is a case here.
Hilary Ranson works in malaria prevention. She sees promise in research that would either eliminate or make problem mosquitoes genetically incapable of carrying disease. Bill Gates and Google are both funding similar research. In Brazil, scientists are releasing bacteria-infected mosquitoes to limit reproduction, all with the goal of preventing disease. Though Ranson concedes, it poses big questions.
It is a bit of a political, regulatory, ethical minefield, to be honest.
Don't confuse this with the forever war against the other 95% of mosquitoes, the summer nuisance. Check out this mosquito laser. In Canada, a small number of mosquitoes can transmit West Nile and encephalitis. Larviciding like this in Winnipeg, the most common control.
Each one of those little black dots is a single egg.
Those aren't the target here. But, says Wired, maybe someday.
But you could keep the population suppressed to a nice low level.
Now, most of this is still theory, work in labs, but the science is pushing ahead to control the world's deadliest and arguably most annoying animal. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Communities across Canada are marking the 30th National Indigenous Peoples Day, a day meant to highlight history and culture. Jennifer Yoon now with some of the sights and messages shared.
A celebration of Indigenous people in a country where in the past something as simple as this, traditional dancing, was outlawed and suppressed.
I can dress now in my regalia and I can dance. Oh, what a wonderful world this is from what I come through.
There's pride among Indigenous, Métis, and Inuit communities from coast to coast to coast as they gather for the 30th National Indigenous Peoples Day.
I just love being Métis. That music, it warms your heart, it warms your spirit.
Along with pride, defiance that Indigenous traditions, languages, and beliefs continue on despite over a century of government efforts to erase them.
We still dance, we still continue to have powwows all around Turtle Island, all over Canada, all over the United States.
For years, we didn't have a voice, and we weren't able to partake in many of the celebrations that you see here today.
There are more than 600 First Nations communities across Canada. They're united by a painful history, including residential schools, forced sterilization, and missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls.
We take a day to reflect and remember what we've been through, that we shouldn't be here, but here we are, and we're strong.
Reconciliation begins with telling the truth.
Indigenous leaders teaching Canadians, including the Prime Minister, about their people and their stories.
Got my hair cut after foster care. I kind of lost that sense of who I was.
Others finding empowerment in sharing a culture they were once separated from.
I didn't get to be proud of who I was when I was younger, and now, this is my strength, is to reclaim my identity and, to empower other people.
Indigenous pride and knowledge he hopes to pass on for generations to come. Jennifer Yoon, CBC News, Toronto.
As Canadians celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day, some are questioning if the Liberal government is dropping the ball on Indigenous matters.
They'll be the end of my line for me and my family.
Why criticism is mounting. Businesses are ramping up their use of artificial intelligence, so calls are growing for accountability when something goes wrong.
If they're going to be replacing their employees' jobs with AI, then they need to be honoring what that AI says.
Your rights when chatbots act up. And a colossal catch.
We hooked into something and we knew it was big.
We're back in 2.
Hide in the shadow and yes, go for a few swims if you can.
Parts of Europe are baking in a heat wave right now, with temperatures soaring to around 40 degrees Celsius in France, Spain, and Italy. Several events have been canceled, and authorities are reporting multiple drownings as people head to the water to cool down. Tomorrow it's expected to be even hotter in some areas. Canadian companies are turning to AI chatbots for some types of customer service. But Sophia Harris shows us they can make mistakes. In this case, it was in a customer's favor, earning him some belated human attention.
After Zach Giacomelli's BMW required major repairs, he decided last month to sell it back to this BMW dealership where he bought the used car 3 years ago. At first, the process seemed easy.
Hi, Zachary. This is Quinn from BMW Toronto.
Quinn, who appeared to be a dealership rep, reached out by text and offered to buy back his BMW for $27,000, just enough to cover what Giacomelli still owed on the car.
I will come out at zero. I'm like, this is happening. I was so glad.
But that good feeling didn't last, because shortly after, the dealership revoked the offer, telling Giacomelli Quinn was an AI chatbot, and the offer it made was a mistake.
I was shocked. I was astounded. Like, my jaw was on the floor.
Giacomelli says the dealership then offered him, for real this time, around $20,000 for the car, about $7,000 less than Quinn's original offer.
I was devastated. If they're going to be replacing their employees' jobs with AI, then they need to be honoring what that AI says.
Canadian law has already established that companies can be held responsible for wayward bots. In 2024, a BC Civil Resolution Tribunal ordered Air Canada to compensate a passenger who got bad advice from the airline's chatbot and wound up overpaying for a plane ticket.
Just like an employee may do something wrong and the company's held responsible, a bot is just like an employee.
This litigation lawyer says in Giacomelli's case, even though Quinn's initial offer was revoked before he accepted it, he could still argue he had an agreement because Quinn, the AI chatbot, had, by text, set up a meeting to lock in the deal.
That could be interpreted as a binding contract.
After CBC News reached out to BMW Toronto, it reinstated Quinn's offer. Giacomelli happily accepted. The dealership says it's now reworking its AI tools. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
Nathan Rourke is continuing to take the CFL by storm while keeping an eye on growing the game.
We have a whole bunch of players in the CFL who are made in Canada.
How he's using his success to support the causes he holds dear. 3 centuries after establishing peace with Britain, Indigenous people in Nova Scotia are still fighting for their rights.
Every time Mi'kmaq try to hold the governments accountable, they'll make up some new law or some excuse.
The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next.
It's actually been a really beautiful solstice. We've had a peaceful celebration. Everyone's having a lovely time.
Thousands gathered this morning at the ancient circle of Stonehenge to celebrate the summer solstice. Stonehenge was built to align with the sun's first light on the winter and summer solstice. These festivities ushered in the longest day of the year. With Parliament now on summer break for 3 months, a number of bills focused on Indigenous issues remain stalled. That has advocates questioning the government's priorities. Joy Spear Chief Morris from CBC Indigenous has the details that are raising concerns.
As a proud member of the Musqueam Indian Band, Zoe Craig Sparrow wants to pass on her rights to her future children. But because she's about to marry someone without status, she's not allowed.
They'll be the end of my line for me and my family, and that's really hard to live with right now.
Craig Sparrow is hoping a federal bill making its way through the House of Commons will change that.
The Honourable Minister for Indigenous Services.
But it's stalled, along with other Indigenous legislation.
I don't see how the Liberal government can meaningfully participate in reconciliation.
Critics question where Indigenous priorities rank in Prime Minister Mark Carney's agenda.
What I've seen out of the Liberals for last year, being a first-time MP, is a lot of announcements and not a lot of substance.
This government is continuing a troubling shift.
In the last days of the spring sitting, the Liberals did reintroduce a long-awaited bill to ensure clean drinking water on reserves.
It's an honor for me today to table C-37 this morning.
Except it removes the legal declaration that First Nations have a human right to clean water and makes it voluntary for provinces to protect water sources outside communities. 2 key changes from the first bill under former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government.
It is simply appalling that in a country as rich as ours, we can't even uphold the basic right of clean water to First Nations.
The Indigenous Services Minister says the changes are meant to address concerns from provinces. And she says Carney is making reconciliation a priority.
He wants to ensure that the decisions we make as a government create the substantive outcomes that First Nations rightfully deserve. And I'm always going to support that.
But critics say those words are cold comfort, and the time to take greater action is long overdue.
This is a pattern that we have seen from the government for decades, for generations.
Only one Indigenous bill passed in the spring sitting of the House of Commons, introduced by the Conservatives, not the governing Liberals. Joyce Beer-Chief Morris, CBC News, Ottawa.
In the breakdown tonight, CFL superstar Nathan Rourke talks football and tackling gender-based violence. And later, the return of a sacred symbol of Indigenous identity sparks celebration. The new herd of bison roaming lands in Star Blanket Cree Nation.
They're finding home here in our community.
What it means to have them back as the country marks National Indigenous Peoples Day. But first.
To the 10, looking for the end zone, got it! The remarkable Rourke strikes again!
Canadian CFL's star quarterback Nathan Rourke on the field, the league's most outstanding player. Off, he's tackling toxic masculinity. I caught up with Rourke at the team's practice facility in Surrey, BC, to talk about his Grey Cup and 2028 Olympic aspirations and the personal story that fuels his advocacy against gender-based violence.
With, a tough guy sport, stereotypically tough sport, how do we really talk about masculinity? And I feel like that's something that I feel an ownership as someone with a platform to be able to go and speak up and say, hey, this isn't, this is an issue that we need to talk about. Talking about how to be in control of your emotions, how to be able to open up and talk to somebody and be vulnerable. All the things about what's positive masculinity look like.
Nathan Rourke is as impressive off the field as he is on, and that says a lot. His 2025 CFL season was a historic success. He became the first Canadian-born quarterback since the 1960s to win the league's Most Outstanding Player award. He threw over 5,000 passing yards, shattering the previous record for a Canadian. I spoke to Rourke at the BC Lions practice facility in Surrey.
Yeah, well, it's an exciting game. It's really, really exciting.
He talked about his love of the Canadian game, his stint in the NFL, and his off-field work speaking about gender violence.
You mentioned the NFL, and so 3 years ago you went down there. There were a lot of people rooting for you, hoping you would do really well, and then there was that play in the exhibition game.
Rourke, swarmed, stays on his feet somehow, will have a chance to get it away, and he completes it for a touchdown.
So many people sent me the link on my phone. Just an incredible play. You shook off a couple of tackles and then found the guy in the end zone.
How about that play by Nathan Rourke over the weekend? That's a way to get yourself going viral quick, right?
Incredible play. It's genuinely one of the best plays anybody has ever pulled off.
Jags QB3 and CFL legend Nathan Rourke makes the Dallas defense look absolutely silly.
So I have to ask you, what was it like to do that?
Yeah, the whole thing was pretty surreal. Like, I remember even before that play, just how surreal it was to be in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium in Jerry World and being able to, I felt like I had in a lot of ways accomplished a childhood dream of playing in the NFL. And obviously at that point, just trying to do my best. I hadn't had a ton of reps throughout training camp, throughout the spring and OTAs. And it was a great opportunity for me to show people what I could do. And extremely grateful that it worked out in that way and was able to make some plays out there.
So as a Canadian kid growing up in Oakville, you know the CFL, it's big in some markets like Hamilton, but it's a real struggle for the league to get attention in Toronto and frankly here in Vancouver as well. So as maybe the biggest star in the league, certainly the biggest Canadian star in the league, what do you think the CFL needs to do to grab more attention in a place like this?
Yeah, I think it's certainly difficult. I mean, Vancouver is a sports town. Toronto is a sports town. We love our sports. We have very passionate fans. And I think that what separates the CFL from other leagues is that we put the emphasis on building and having Canadian talent. And we have a ratio that makes teams, make it mandatory for teams to have a certain amount of Canadian starters, a certain amount of Canadians on the roster. We want Canadian talent, whether it's coming from a U.S. school or from a local school like UBC or Simon Fraser. You know, we have the opportunities to bring in Canadian talent. And we have so many great Canadian players around this league. And I would love for the CFL to continue to market those players, be able to show, hey, you guys want to continue to lean into, Canadian products. We just this past year with the tariffs and everything, the grocery stores around the country were saying, made in Canada, right? We have a whole bunch of players in the CFL who are made in Canada. I think leaning into that and showing just how talented we are and how exciting this game is. It's a very exciting game. It's different than the NFL. Showcasing those differences, showcasing our Canadians, I think is the way to go.
So to that point, actually, I saw a video a few months ago of some Montreal Alouettes who were at a community event playing flag football with kids. And I remember thinking to myself, I just don't see a lot of other professional leagues putting their athletes out there like that. What kind of contact do you have with fans?
I'm doing high school visits. I'm a part of one of the programs here with the Lions called Be More Than a Bystander, speaking out about gender-based violence.
All right, let's talk about sexual harassment and sexual assault.
I feel like right now there is such an emphasis on on misinformation, especially online, just particularly to young men. And we know that statistically men are the ones who are doing the victimizing, and most often not women are the recipients of that. And so we try with that program trying to take the ownership off of, hey, this is a women's issue, saying now this is a men's issue that we need to stand with women and especially just to combat some of the toxic stuff online and some of this red pill stuff that's kind of floating into our screens and our TikToks and all the different type of stuff. So that's something that I am really passionate about, and it's a real privilege to be able to have that platform to be able to talk to people.
Where does that come from? Like your family or just experience, or like why that cause?
Yeah, so it starts, and I share about this when I talk to the kids, is my mom is a survivor of sexual abuse. And so it starts with that. But I think it also is a bigger thing for me as someone who is a Jesus follower and someone who believes in God. And I believe that when Jesus walked the earth, he was someone who spoke up against the marginalized and people who were victimized, and especially for the positions of power that we put in this patriarchal system that we have. It's our responsibility to be able to look out for those who are lesser. Now, hopefully, I'm hoping that young men can kind of take that ownership as well.
But I do believe that you have a unique responsibility, as well as I do, to be able to inspire and influence those around you.
You're a CFL traditionalist, though you played a little bit of football in the NFL, and you flag football too.
Yeah.
And maybe at the Olympics?
Yeah, it's very exciting. When I was a kid, I never dreamed of even playing at the Olympic stage. I obviously dreamed of being a professional football player, professional quarterback, but to throw the Olympics in the mix is very exciting for me. So I thought, we're still a couple years away. Doing some of this in the offseason is going to take away from any of the stuff that I do with the Lions, which is always my priority. But to even give it a chance and kind of figure out exactly what this could be and what could lead to, I feel like I owe it to myself. But I also felt like I owed it to some of the flag athletes who have played, their entire lives and were very, very good at flag. I felt I owed it to them to, do my due diligence and do my homework and play and get familiar with the game. And so I did a little bit of that this off season, and it was a lot of fun.
Let's finish with this. Sunday, November 15th, 2026. You know what happens that day?
Is that the Grey Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be?
Hopefully playing in that game. I'll be in Calgary at the Grey Cup Festival like I have been the last couple of years, which is a fun time, a really fun time to see the fans and do some work there. But I've always rather have been playing at that point. So hopefully this year I'm playing on the field in Calgary and hosting that trophy at the end of it.
It's not going to be easy to get there. The BC Lions have played 2 games so far in their season, and despite having the consensus #1 player in the league at quarterback, they're 0-2 right now. Coming up, centuries after a treaty between the Crown and First Nations, Mi'kmaq leaders reflect on the rocky path to protect those rights.
Some of the smartest legal minds have tried to eliminate and dismiss the rights that we get.
We revisit the site of its signing and show how that treaty helped shape future negotiations. Next. Mi'kmaq leaders reflect 300 years on on a peace and friendship treaty that helped define Crown Indigenous relations in this country.
We did not surrender any land. It was just peace and friendship.
But across Canada, land rights remain a contentious issue. That 1726 treaty was intended to bring peace between First Nations and the Crown, but hasn't ended the fight for some of those rights. Sis Mohan takes us back to the site of the signing.
300 years ago, the Mi'kmaq, the Passamaquoddy, the Wolastoqey people would have met here in what is now Annapolis Royal to meet with the British Crown to sign the first of many peace and friendship treaties.
300 years is a great milestone for these treaties.
Mi'kmaq Grand Council Captain Philip Prosper says the treaties represent a way of life that predates colonization.
We have a word in Mi'kmaq, which means we sprouted from the ground. We've been doing everything that the treaties say since then.
This treaty and the ones that followed established peace between the British and the Wabanaki nations. It protects rights to hunt, fish, trap, and gather, as well as trade and earn a livelihood. But defending those rights has required generations of legal battles.
Some of the smartest legal minds have tried to eliminate and dismiss the rights that we get from these treaties, and they've never been able to. And that's the legacy to me.
It's something really strange about going through the settler court system to settle something, right? And we had to fight for these treaty rights, as you know, in the Supreme Court of Canada and so forth. But the Grand Council knew they existed from Grand Chief Syliboy in the 1920s.
Grand Chief Gabriel Syliboy was arrested and charged for hunting muskrat out of season. Mi'kmaq historian and captain Don Julian says Syliboy understood the treaties, even when the courts didn't.
He tried to defend himself with the 1752 treaty. Lawyers really didn't want to defend him. So they didn't understand the treaty. I don't think they took the time in understanding or reading the treaty. But the Grand Chief knew all about it. Our Grand Council knew all about it. But unless you had a Mi'kmaq lawyer to defend you, he lost in court.
Nearly 90 years later, Nova Scotia issued a pardon. The province formally apologized for the racism, discrimination, and treaty denial the Grand Chief faced. Julian says the same treaty argument used by Grand Chief Syliboy would eventually succeed in court. In 1985, James Simon of Sbeganagady was charged after being found with a rifle and shells while traveling between two Mi'kmaq communities. At the time, you could only hunt on your own reserve.
They defended James Simon using the 1752 treaty to be able to hunt. We won the Supreme Court case and was restricted only to hunting, nothing else.
For Julian, the treaties are personal. His great-great-grandfather, John Julian, signed the Peace and Friendship Treaty of 1779. It's part of why he's helped research treaties for some prominent cases, including when Donald Marshall Jr. was charged for catching and selling eels without a license.
We used the 1760-61 treaties to defend him, and we won. It took us, maybe about almost 5 years in the lower courts up to the Supreme Court of Canada. September 15, 1999, the decision came down. 5 out of 7 Supreme Court judges agreed.
The Supreme Court affirmed the treaties protected the right to earn a moderate livelihood. Julian points out the treaties are unique in another way.
We did not surrender any land. It was just peace and friendship. We had our own systems in place. We had our governing systems. The Grand Council that I'm part of, we represented all of Nova Scotia.
Everything that we've endured in the last 300 years just dignifies our strength.
Andale Denny is K'chī captain of the Mi'kmaq Grand Council and great-grandson of Grand Chief Gabriel Syliboy. Denny says the challenge has been ensuring the government honors the commitments it's made. He hopes to see the introduction of treaty commissioner roles across the country to help repair that relationship between government and First Nations.
Every time Mi'kmaq try to hold the governments accountable or the courts accountable, they'll make up some new law or some excuse.
But Denny says the Mi'kmaq Nation remains committed to peace and friendship despite the challenges in upholding their treaty rights.
That's the strength of a nation, when you can still hold out your hand to your allies who have done nothing but try to hurt you.
Sismohan, CBC Indigenous, Annapolis Royal.
Bison are once again roaming the lands of the Star Blanket Cree Nation. And our CBC News Indigenous colleague Louise Big Eagle was there for their return this spring.
It's been 2 weeks since Austin Elliott and Mike Starr started their new jobs, looking after Star Blanket Cree Nation's new herd.
They have similarities to one another, except they're just more wild. You know, don't just get too close. Don't go in and mess around with them. That's basically it. And, you know, just be on guard. You know, they're just wild.
Yeah, they are. Starr points out where the bison are in the distance today. He says they're settled in well since their arrival, but maybe a little bashful.
What we stepped into, we realize what it is, but we're ready to take on the challenge, and we have the land for it.
It was snowy, it was cold, the trails were muddy, but so many came out to welcome their newest members. "17 bison hauled in from Alberta." Ariane Starblanket thinks of her late grandfather and other elders from the community.
My late grandfather, who was the chief at the time, Chief Irvin Starblanket, he would talk about it and say, you know, someday we need to bring back the buffalo to the people for healing and for food sovereignty. And to have that bestowed upon us today is, you know, just one of the greatest legacies he left for us.
The Cree word for that is pekiwewak. They're finally home here in our community.
Sharon Strongarm brought her grandchildren to witness this historic moment.
It was just very emotional, very exciting, very, you know, oh man, you know, when you first see the first buffalo run out.
Tristan Starr Denemy is part of the Bison crew. He's raised cows and horses, but this is something new. And there's more than one thing he's excited about.
Their calving process, you know, stuff like that. How we work these animals, you know, their vaccinations and everything. Probably that. That's probably the biggest excitement out of all of it, to see how it is, because it's going to be fast and they're big animals.
The bison are currently on 160 acres of land, with efforts already underway to expand that. And they will be an educational tool for generations.
I'm so excited for the future, and I'm excited for our young ones to really learn about the importance of the buffalo and what it means to bring them back, and it's going to empower our people.
As a father to a 2-year-old, Elliot says it's a blessing to be a keeper of these animals alongside his cousin and uncle.
In the future, I hope my son does follow into what we do too, is take care of the horses, cattle, and hopefully this too, because it's a good thing.
Louise Big Eagle, CBC Indigenous, Star Blanket Cree Nation.
Coming up, a massive catch on BC's Fraser River.
This fish measured 11 foot 8.2 inches with a 60-inch pectoral girth.
The record-breaking sturgeon next in our moment. You're looking at a huge white sturgeon on BC's Fraser River. It was caught and released by a Chilliwack fishing guide group called the Sturgeon Slayers. The 11-foot catch wasn't just impressive. That guide group says it set a new record, and now the rare find makes our moment.
We were just out fishing like any other normal day. We hooked into something and we knew it was big. We obviously weren't expecting a giant fish like this. I'm the owner of Sturgeon Slayers, and we are a conservation-based business. Sturgeon are the largest freshwater species in North America. This fish measured 11 foot 8.2 inches with a 60-inch pectoral girth. We had the record from 2021 that we broke. The day lined up where everything worked out and we ended up beating our own record from 2021. Sturgeon is catch and release only here in British Columbia in the Fraser River. We are a very conservation-driven business, participating in the tagging program for the Fraser Valley Angling Guides Association and constantly working with both provincial and federal governments to ensure the health of these fish. It was just an incredible moment for all of us to see something that size here swimming right among us in beautiful British Columbia and the Fraser River.
So you heard him describe the length of that fish and also the look. If you've seen, pictures of entire sturgeons, almost prehistoric. The weight, by the way, and pardon the imperial measure, but this is kind of how they talk about the weight of those fish, somewhere around 11 to 1,200 pounds. From all of us on The National, thanks for being with us. I'm Ian Hannamansing in Vancouver. You can also join me on CBC News Network weeknights at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. See you then.